DIY channel. I'm Leanne Dowsett, and today I'm going to teach you how to decorate these very cute little mason jars. I'll show you how to paint them and scuff them up, and then we're going to decorate them with these little paper cut feathers and some twine. Let's say you've got a nice little setup where you've got like a little coffee table outside with fresh cut flowers. Fill them with makeup brushes, put them on a desk, fill them up with pens and supplies. So most people just like to put on the twine and the paint and that's it, but I'm a little crazy, so I gotta add extra stuff. First thing you are gonna need for this is obviously a mason jar. Like this, something similar. Could be one a little bigger. It doesn't really matter what size you use. It all just depends on what you can get your hands on. Maybe like them small, maybe like them big. On a more serious note, the next thing you obviously need is paint. So yeah. I am using the Martha Stewart satin paints. I have found them in Michael's and I've seen them in Walmart. I'm also in Vancouver, so who knows where you might be able to find them depending on where you live. But don't panic because there's all kinds of chalk paint. You know what? You want to cover your surface. Whatever you're working on, you definitely want to cover your surface. And you probably want to change your clothes if you've got good clothes on. Using an old piece of plastic, it's like a table liner. If you use paper, that's totally fine. I find that once you paint your jars and put it on the paper, and then they get stuck to the paper. Look at this. Covered in paint rings. But the nice thing about the plastic is when the paint does dry to the jars, you can just lift them back off and they don't stick and you don't get paper stuck to your jars. If you use newspaper, you have fun either picking it off or sanding it off. So I generally buy the large white paint, and this is wedding cake. I always add in colors to make my own colors, if that makes any sense. And that's what I'm going to do today because I figure it would just be easy enough to squirt this shit in here. Gotta put a little more of a challenge into this for you. So I use this because it lasts me such a long time, and then you buy the smaller guys. But because this is empty, I'm gonna be using the small one. Here we go. I'm putting in some white. And today we're gonna make like a teal color. I am using Caribbean blue. Lovely sound effects. I'm also going to be adding in this one called Mermaid Teal. I've got the blue in here with the white, so it's going to lighten this up. Then I'm going to put in a little bit of this one, and it's going to add a little more of a greeny kind of tint to it, and just mix it in really, really, really well. So you're going to do this until you get your desired color. I think I'm happy with that. First thing I do is you want to make sure that they're nice and clean, and the best way to do this, just run them through the dishwasher. It gets any sort of like maybe residue from being stored or anything off of the jars, but you've got a nice clean surface to work with. We're just gonna go around here all the way around the top, so you're getting kind of under this lip here. And you want to get a little bit more paint and start from the bottom and brush upwards. So you can kind of dab into the letters where they're raised up to make sure that the paint gets inside, and then kind of go over the top again. So you can actually do this really, really quick with this technique. So I go all the way around, make sure I'm totally covered. You keep the direction of the paint going one way. You don't want this and this because that will show. Then I like to take the brush and turn it sideways. And this is going in the different direction of the paint streaks going the other way. But that's okay. Actually looks good once it's done. Okie doke. So once you get your first layer on and you're totally covered, you're gonna have streaks, and we're gonna have to do several coats of this. Once you've got it all on, I'm just going to simply put this to the side and let it dry. Gonna take about 8 hours. But seriously though, it is gonna take at least 6 to 8 hours for this to fully dry and cure. It's so important that you let the jars sit, because if you attempt to put another layer on while it's not set, it will remove the previous layer. What I usually do is I will make one big batch and then I will let it sit and then the next day come back to it. I've even tried to use a hair dryer to speed the process up, and for some reason it doesn't work. The great thing I do have to say about this paint is it does have a 21-day cure cycle on it. So after 21 days of setting, you can actually put it through the dishwasher and the paint will not come off. Do my second layer, and you can do it really fast once you get good at this. Once that layer is dry, put on another layer. Okay. Now your jars are done. Totally set. We're probably on about day 3 or day 4. We're ready to go to the next step, sanding. This is kind of where you start to see some results with your jars. It doesn't matter sort of what grit you use because you're just scuffing the shit out of these jars anyways. I buy a big pack of this from the dollar store for $1. It's so cheap. Take this and cut it up into little squares, just because it's a little easier to manage. You want to take a piece and you're going to start with the letters. I'm just going same direction that I painted it. And you can scuff off as little or as much as you want. When you get to the top of the jar, again, it's easiest to sand it in the direction that you painted it in. I like to go all the way around the jar for this. If you want, you can also scuff the back side. And if you like to have that little sort of crisscross pattern, you wanna go on an angle like this. And then you can go back this way. You can just go up and down. I like to do the bottom just because the jars always have like a little line. A line here. Get that on the top. Sometimes the paint goes around the top, so you can just leave it like this, or you can scuff that up too. You know what I absolutely love are these wipes from Costco. They're baby wipes, but they are the best thing for cleaning up stuff for crafting. Wipe down your jar. And don't worry, it won't take the paint off. Now I'm gonna take my twine and I am going to take about this much, so like a long little tail, go down, let it hang down past the jar. And I'm gonna put my thumb right here and I'm gonna wrap the twine. So I usually like to go 3 or 4 times. And then you're gonna pull it right to here and I'm gonna tie it off. Like that, right there. Then the one that's still attached, I'm just gonna leave a little bit of length on there and I'm gonna cut it off. So now it's like this. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my cut out feathers. This one doesn't need a hole because it's got a little bit of a slit in it already. I am using just the Fiskars paper punch. It is the smaller size, so it's not the standard hole because you don't want this really big and ugly and showing, but it's a little guy and it's big enough for the twine to just fit through. So I'm gonna put this one over that one. And I'm taking this piece to the right-hand side of my first tie, and I'm just gonna pop them through. So now my feathers are on. Now I'm going to make a loop, tie a bow, and you can adjust it. You can make it as big as you want, as small as you want. I don't like it too big. Then I like to just give this part a trim. And I'm gonna pull these together so I get them about the same length. So that is the finished product. Very easy, very simple. Hope this inspires you to make some. Guys, thanks for watching. My dog has been dying to get in here. He just wants to say hi. I know.